everybody, welcome back to SpaceBall here on Geek Space. This is a podcast where we talk about America's greatest pastime, the game of baseball. Hi, I'm Danny. I'm the Geek Space editor-in-chief. I'm joined by our sports editor, Robert Howard, MD.
Hello. I got demoted.
No.
I was PhD last week.
An MD is not a demotion. It's you have both.
Okay.
I'm going to say you have a PhD in architecture and you're also a surgeon.
All right. That sounds good to me.
You're every woman's dream.
People might be able to prove that or not. Who knows?
They can definitely disprove it. I don't know if they'll be able to prove it.
Oh, man. Dude.
Next week, you're going to be Robert Howard GED.
Regents diploma.
This man went to night school to finish and then became a doctor architect.
Hey, man, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I have a doctorate in fucking piss missiles, I'll tell you that. But
so we are here. It's been 1 week since our last podcast, and in that time we have had opening day. Baseball is back, baby!
Baseball! That's it. That's all I was gonna do for you.
That crazy echo effect on your voice. That was nuts.
Ooh, that was just me. Thank you. No, I would say obviously the Yankees starting it off was a lot of fun for me. Yankees and then Dodgers Giants. But yeah, man, baseball's back and it feels real good.
Yeah, honestly I thought this year was gonna feel weird. At least as a spectator on the digital side of things, I haven't noticed a difference.
Honestly, yeah, like for sure, because like I mean, don't get me wrong, like you and I can say that there is a difference, obviously, like for sure.
I mean, there's probably a difference for them.
For sure. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
But like production quality wise, the fans in the stands thing is just so stupid. I don't know if you've seen it. You've seen? Okay, yeah.
Oh, I watched it live. I was really confused.
Yeah, because Fox was just like, we have this new age technology, and I was like, dude, I've been playing MLB The Show for years. Like, why are you shocked by this? Like, that's all you're doing.
I was not paying attention. I was like, I don't know, cooking or something, and then I turn around and there's fans in the stands. I was like, what the fuck? Did they reopen the stadium while I was turned around? And then they started like clipping, and I was like, oh, it's a hologram.
Yeah. It's so funny because they talked about like this new technology, and it's like, dude, I've been playing MLB The Show since it came out on PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3. Like, yeah, it's fine. I'll be all right.
Yeah, I've been playing Ken Griffey Jr.'s Slugfest for years.
Yeah, come on now. It's time for some baseball. But no, I initially I was with you, and I thought it was definitely going to be weird. And then everything got to a point where I think you and I actually linked up and we watched the Phillies-Yankees tiebreaker.
We watched the exhibition.
The exhibition, excuse me. Yeah, I would say they ended up tying, but I said tiebreaker, whatever. But we watched the exhibition, and we mentioned it, and I think I even said to you, I just very much hope that this week, maybe like the full week, take the full week to just talk about it or whatever, but after this week, I hope that I don't have to hear about how weird it is again, because you know what I mean? Like, I watched as along with obviously Yankees Nats. I watched Phillies Marlins. I watched I watched Mets Braves. I watched Dodgers Giants. I tried to watch as much as I could, Tigers Reds and whatnot. I just hate the Red Sox, so I don't watch any of their games. But I was pretty stoked that they lost the last 2 days. That was awesome. Yeah, I mean, baseball's back. It's a lot of fun. It does suck to not see, like, it's actually very funny when it comes to home runs and you just see the ball just hit the seats and then just trickle down the stairs and everything.
Are people collecting those balls, by the way? What's happening
I think
with
so.
those?
I think so, because when I was watching the opening day game, after Giancarlo Stanton hit his home run, they were just like, but Matt Vasgersian for ESPN, he was just like, oh, you won't see anybody collect that ball for another 8 minutes, or maybe it was A-Rod. Either way, one of them said
Oh,
it.
you know what? Yeah, no. I remember that John Carlos Stanton hit. Somebody did say that.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was just like, okay. I mean, I guess I know that when Mookie Betts hit his first hit as a Dodger, he gave the signal, because he wanted to keep the ball. And I mean, hey, Mookie, get that bag. By the way, I wanted to correct myself really quickly. Last week I had said Steven Strasburg was gone. He is not gone from the Nats. He's absolutely with the Nats. Um, I said Mookie Betts was opting out, but then he wasn't. That was David Price. That was who I was getting confused. And there's probably some other stuff that I forgot, but I just, yeah.
We're going to start doing corrections, I think, right at the beginning of the show on a week-by-week basis.
Okay.
But I didn't take the time to write them all down because I don't think we said anything that was factually incorrect yet.
So I did. Cliff Lee is not a second baseman. He's absolutely a pitcher.
Yeah,
I was thinking of.
That, I was like, yeah, Cliff Lee. And then you said he's a second baseman, and you could see my face. I go, and then I was like, maybe he's right.
I said that because I was thinking Cole Hamels, and I was thinking Cliff Lee, but I was thinking Chase Utley is who I was thinking
Chase
of.
Utley?
Yeah.
You mistake for Cliff Lee?
There are three C's. They're the three C's. So that's why I was just
Chase Utley, who's been retired?
Yeah. So like I was just like, I heard Chase Utley, or like in my mind I was like Cliff Lee, because like they all played for the Phillies at one point.
Yes,
so like
they did.
Yeah, so like and they were. I don't think Cole Hamels was not on the. Well, actually, were Cliff Lee or Cole Hamels on the World Series winning team? No, right?
I think Cole Hamels was.
Cole Hamels was.
I might be wrong, actually. No. You know what?
I know that they were at least in the Yankees-Phillies World Series, but I don't remember if that was the case. But either way, that was my thought process, and then I said Chase Utley, and I was just like, wait a minute. Like, I don't think that's right. But yeah, no. I would say I did. After watching it back, I was laughing because I did see your face, and I was just like,
yeah, no. Sorry. Yeah. Cole Hamels was definitely in our rotation for 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he was, because he like was only there for like he'd only been there for like a year, and then he went and became I think maybe our starter for the postseason. But anyway, nonetheless, Cliff Lee is not the same person as Chase Utley. I'm glad that we've corrected that.
Oh man, that was so funny because I rewatched it, and then I remember I got a text from my buddy, and he was just like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, what? And then I like rewatched it. I was like, oh no, it's not what I meant. Oh man, but yeah.
Well, we're gonna start off with first we're gonna start off with just talking about highlights. So that we had opening day was Thursday night. So we've had 4 days of baseball. So we had 2 games on Thursday, and then Friday was like big opening day, and then Saturday and Sunday. Today we're recording this Sunday night. So I just want to bring up some highlights. So what are some of your highlight picks? Just give me a couple. Like, it doesn't have to be dingers. We're talking about dingers, but like it could be anything. What from these first 4 days?
So, I would say, and I have it right here, honestly. Give me just a sec. So one of my big highlights was honestly what do I want to say? Yadier Molina today was on fire behind home plate. Like, he was gunning people out left and right. I would say Yachty just doing Yachty things, honestly. But that was awesome. I enjoyed the. We'll give 3, I suppose. I'll give 3 highlights just to not to go through everything. But Yachty today just gunning people out. One at first base, the other at second. Just doing catcher stuff. And honestly, I really like catcher stuff like that, because people say it often, and it's not reiterated enough in that catching in baseball is the hardest. Like, That's why you often don't see, like, you see people like Joe Mauer either have to transition to a different position or just outright, like, their numbers just decline because of the fact that they have to deal with all of that. But I would say, yeah, Yachty, Bryce Harper's bunt from the first.
Oh, that was great.
I mean, like, everybody thought Bryce Harper, you know, his first hit of the season would absolutely be a bunt down the third baseline. For sure. Like, everybody had that on their paper, for sure, that Bryce Harper was going to do that. And Giancarlo Stanton just rocking baseballs, just fucking just destroying them.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily want to pick that, but there's a segment later that I could have picked that for, but I didn't. And I'm just happy to see that I'm just happy to see that Giancarlo Stanton is, and also tiny little highlight, I just enjoy, like, the different teams and schemes and everything that we're seeing out of managers, with, like, pinch hitting in the third game of the season, and like just not that that's, like, uncommon, you know what I mean, but, like, because every game matters, it's very much just like a next man up kind of mentality, which I would say, yeah, that was, like, the Yankees, like, catchphrase last year, but
but now it's real.
Yeah, no, very, very, very much so. But yeah, I would say that those three, and then obviously a little, like, 0.5, were my highlights of the week.
Okay, I think, by the way, when I look over here, I'm not ignoring you. I am checking OBS.
That's fine.
My highlights would be, right off the top, I think, Kike Hernandez, first Dodgers game. Holy shit. That guy had 5 RBIs in one game? That's fucking insane.
Oh, yeah.
That's, like, just, and phenomenal. And also, amazing mustache. I looked at him and I was like, this man is a fucking model.
That's awesome.
He knocks it out and then it zooms in on his face. And I was like, dude, I would make out with that man. God. But yeah, dude, he had a phenomenal performance on the Dodgers opener. So I think his whole night, it's hard to pick which one of those hits is. I mean, clearly he had the 3-run homer, but, like, all of them were phenomenal. And then I got a couple weird highlights that I think are really great. Tommy Pham did this hit, must have been last night, where he hit the ball and it maybe traveled like 4 feet. And yet, because he hit it in, like, I think he hit it sort of toward the third baseline, he just booked it. And he actually got to base before anybody could pick up the ball. So even though it should have been an easy out for them, he was just, like, so fast he got to base without even getting tagged.
So this is your introduction to Tommy Pham, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should say I, like, had heard his name before, never watched him in a game.
Yeah, and that's fair. The reason why I know him is because the past 2 years he was on the Rays, and, like, he would, and the Rays, while not a lot of people talk about them, like, we didn't even really talk about them, like, they're still a very good team.
Yeah.
So Tommy Pham being gone is definitely a hurt, but, like, yeah, that I would say that's Tommy Pham. Just he'll do some wild shit. He's a solid bat for sure. But anyway, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and he's fucking fast, man. Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
And the last one which I thought was good, that I thought you would enjoy if you watch this part of the game. Didi Gregorius throwing somebody out at second from his ass.
Yep.
He fell backwards, like, feet up in the air, and just, like, pitched it underneath himself and got somebody out. And I was like, how the fuck did he do that?
Oh yeah. Didi is one of my favorite players.
I'm buying his jersey. I was waiting until I figured out, like, sort of who was gonna. And hey, look, I said it last week when we did our segment about who we think is realistically gonna pop off, and I said Didi's got it. And yeah, I was right. Didi is. Was it last night? I think Didi supplied all but one of our runs. It was something
Yes,
crazy.
yes, it was last night because
Yeah.
he homered twice in a row. He didn't homer today, did he?
No, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
He homered opening day for you guys, and then, and then he homered again. He also got a double.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, and then, yeah, I believe that is what had happened yesterday.
Regardless, I'm in a Phillies group chat. We have a little game chat. Nobody else sort of like knew or was like hot on Didi Gregorius before me in the group chat. And all I say is every time fucking he comes on, I'm like, Didi's the greatest. He deserves to get MVP. After one game, after that game last night, everybody was like, so now we need to sign JT and we need to sign Didi.
Yep. By the way, correction.
Oh.
JT hit a home run yesterday. JT hit a 3-run jack. Didi was on base when
That's
he
right.
hit him in, I believe.
You're right.
I believe. I might be wrong about that because I think Real Muto, he hits before, or Didi hits after Real Muto, doesn't he? Okay.
Yeah. So it must have been the other way around.
Either way, Real Muto.
I think JT was on base and then Didi homered him in.
No, Didi's are solo shots. Didi's were solos.
Or maybe he just RBI'd him. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But JT definitely hits before Didi.
Yes. Because I was going to say, I'm looking at it right. I got the stat line right here.
Okay.
And
Real Muto
had 3 RBIs because he had that one home run.
Okay.
And then Didi.
Oh, and then Didi had the solo shot right after him. Gotcha.
Yeah. I would say either that or Didi did it first. I don't remember which. But either way, also impressed by Zach Wheeler. I told you he was going to be good.
Zach Wheeler did. And we're going to talk about this more in our Bronx Cheers segment. But Zach Wheeler is great, and he's the only good pitcher we have. And then I think the last, and this is another dumb one, the last highlight I have is is Roman Quinn running to first, and the Marlins committed an error. The ball went over the first baseman's head, and Roman Quinn had the opportunity to make it to second, and he busted his ass and just fell backwards, spread eagle on the grass, and then didn't attempt to get up. He just laid there for like 3 seconds. It was pretty funny.
Listen, when you do something like that, man, you can't. You gotta stay down.
Yeah. It was. I laughed really hard when that happened. I was like, damn, Roman Quinn's just taking a fucking nap, dude.
No, I mean, that was the really funny part about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot about that. That was so funny because in our group chat you had mentioned something and I was just like, what the hell is he talking about? And I pulled it up and I was like, oh.
Yeah, he just.
Oh, okay.
He it was like he was like running on a wet tarp. Like he just upended himself and then just like fell flat on his back. It's just like a fucking crab.
That's amazing.
Okay, so I guess let's get right into Bronx cheers and Fanatics cheers. I'm gonna try and do I'm gonna do an opening. That's how I'm gonna make myself do it. I'm gonna do an opening animation for it now.
Whoa, dude, that was awesome! Oh my god!
Now you're way upselling it. It's not gonna be that fucking cool. It's gonna be some fucking text.
Yeah. You just have to have it.
I'm gonna make it just to fuck with you. I'm gonna make it the most unimpressive thing. It's gonna be 2 frames, 2 frames of text. Just like pops up on screen.
Have it do like the fucking Windows Movie Maker shit. Like,
yeah. I think it'd be even funnier if it was just like flat Arial font, just with the title, and it just came on screen, then it went away. Even Windows Movie Maker would be like work because I'd have to download Windows Movie Maker. And
no, don't bother that. I mean, if you have a PC, I feel like it's there, but honestly,
they don't do Windows Movie Maker anymore.
Hopefully not.
I remember because for a while I was using it for something. It was Windows Live Movie Maker, and it looked more like iMovie, and then it went away. But Anyway, baseball. So let's talk about our teams this week. Let's talk about how the Yankees have done and how the Phillies have done. So,
do you want me first or you?
Let's do you first.
Okay. So after earlier today, Yankees are now 2-1. The first game, in classic 2020 fashion, was rained out after 5 innings. So I mean,
to your benefit,
cool.
really.
I mean, but it was. I remember I had seen a tweet where it was just like, let's put this in perspective. At least I get to be angry about there being a rain delay now or something. And it's like, I agree. Obviously it is to the Yankees' benefit for sure. I do enjoy that rule change, honestly.
Yeah,
I
me
remember,
too.
I remember having to wait, for certain games like that, and I was always afraid. And there's no fans in the stands who would be pissed off about something like that either, as well. So for me, I think that in general I was cool with it. I mean, of course, my team won, but at the same time, I would have liked to see Garrett Cole pitch the entire day. Sure. I honestly think that he was on pace to have finished a complete game. It was cool to see Giancarlo Stanton go 2 for 3 with a home run and a double. Cool to see Aaron Judge. Everybody looked really good. And then Saturday came, and they did not look as good.
They were subjugated.
Yes, they were subjugated. Which is such a dig at Judge. That's his name.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
I'm sure Siri knew that when she said it.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. No, I mean, honest to God, I don't think that I talked about it enough, but the Nationals rotation is strong. Even without even without Strasburg, who was out with a thumb he was feeling tingling nerves in his thumb. So he was out, but Patrick Corbin is good, and he was very solid all last year. I think he went 10-8 or something like that, but still a relatively low ERA, and in the postseason he was great. Anibal Sanchez, who hasn't even played yet, and obviously Mad Max. Max Scherzer, I would say, if I'm recalling correctly, I mean, Giancarlo Stanton has the most home runs in Nationals Park, period, of any human being that isn't Ryan Zimmerman.
Sure.
So,
I'm not going to double check that stat. We'll get to it next
No,
week.
they literally, the Yankees would not stop talking about it.
Oh, okay.
The broadcast, both Joe Buck and Michael Kay would not stop being and Matt Vasgersian were all just Giancarlo Stanton has the most home runs in Nationals Park. And it's all right, cool. Not to say that I'm kind of a stats guy in that regard, enjoying to hear stuff about that, especially when it's my favorite team. But, yeah, I mean, they were beating it over the head with that. And, honestly, that gave me a little bit of hope because, Giancarlo Stanton hit that home run, but, the bullpen just absolutely shit the bed. James Paxton especially shit the bed. And I was just the dude couldn't even get through 2 innings. And, granted, he had back surgery over the summer as well as over the off season. I keep saying summer, but over the off season as well as I think there was a cyst in his elbow or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's hard because Luis Severino would have been the number 2 to Garrett Cole's number 1, and then you obviously have other pitchers. But yeah, my biggest issue is just you can't. Even with the offense being what it was, at least that night, you cannot put up what was it? I think the final score was
9-2.
Yeah, 2-9. So, I mean, yeah. And then today started off real slow. I, honest to God, was just oh man, Patrick Corbin is perfect through 6. This is, or 4 rather. I was this is ridiculous. But then Gleyber got a single, and I think last week I even said that Gleyber Torres was going to pop off. But it took him 3 games to do it. But I mean, hey, if that's what it takes, by all means, I'm there with you for it. But I would say, yeah, I mean, and man, nobody was making it easy. Joey, or not Joey. I always call him Johnny Lasagna. Because I don't ever met. Yeah, it's he was the starter today. He's a pitcher for the Yankees, but I think it's Loaisaga, Jonathan Loaisaga.
Oh, okay.
But everybody just calls him Johnny Lasagna.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his last name. I don't think I've ever heard it pronounced.
I think it's Loaisaga. But
right.
He was out there today. He gave up one run off of a home run, like literally right at the end. Or excuse me, it was it was one run. I would say off of. I want to say it was Trey Turner. Yes, it was. It was Trey Turner. And so after that, I was just like, man, they really like. I don't really know what it is, but the bullpen stepped it up. Chad Green ended up getting the win after both Gleyber Torres and Luke Voigt hit two home runs, and then Gleyber got in another run, I think, in the 8th inning. And then the Yankees just closed it out. It's a little scarier because Aroldis Chapman didn't close, so it was Zach Britton, and I mean Zach Britton could easily close. He could close with any other MLB team, in my opinion. I think he was a very good closer for the Baltimore Orioles for a time, when they were, I would say, at the beginning of the 10s, when they were like actually pretty stacked. And truth be told, probably should have at least gotten to the World Series, let alone won one.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think that is a 2-1 record against the world champs. After, I mean, they lost Rendon, but again, their pitching is still solid. Victor Robles is a very good player. And I mean, I think that we're going to hear a lot more out of Trey Turner and Adam Eaton now that they kind of have to step it up. But overall, I was pretty positive over the Yankees. But man, James Paxton and that bullpen have got to be figured out.
That's what was so funny to me, because I mean, like, not funny to me in like a fuck you way, because frankly, I need you guys to win so the Nationals have a worse record in the NL East, because now records are counted, including interleague play right now. So they better fucking lose some games, buddy. But because I remember last week you were saying like they have such a good bullpen, they had the best bullpen in their division. We're getting a visitor. Hey man. So I was like really surprised when basically the bullpen shit the bed. I was like, oh, this is, of all the things I didn't think would go wrong with the Yankees, it was that.
Yeah. And to be fair, I was more so thinking about players like Adam Ottavino or Chad Green or Zach Britton or Tommy Kahnle, which like you saw today.
Yeah.
Yesterday you saw players like Michael King or Jonathan Holder or Ben Heller, like people not necessarily that I would find to be bad or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they are not like the heart of the bullpen in that regard.
Sure.
And I mean, the thing is, the bullpen didn't even play on Thursday, so like there's also that to keep in mind when it's just like, where exactly is all of this going to fit. But today, I mean, Adam Ottavino's stuff is absolutely filthy. David Hale was kind of the weak link today, giving up those 2 runs, or rather that 1 run. I believe it was I think it was like an RBI double. Mm-hmm. David Hale, excuse me. I think I said David Hale, but yeah, I mean, Tommy Kahnle and Zach Britton and Chad Green and Adam Ottavino are honestly the 4 people that I like, the 4 pitchers that I ended up like. When I think of the bullpen, that's what I'm thinking of, more or less.
Yeah.
Jonathan Holder is fine, but sometimes he kind of gets into this weird situation where some days he's on, some days he's off, and that's like I don't care for the inconsistency. Mm-hmm. Luis Cessa is, I believe, coming back after COVID. I would say he tested positive for COVID, as well as Aroldis Chapman also tested negative for COVID now, so now he has to wait 24 hours and he does another test. Mm-hmm. And then if it's negative again, then he is able to return, I believe. That's one of the new protocols, which honestly good.
Yeah.
It's
like twice. You test negative twice in the span of 24 hours, I think.
I think that a test has to be administered. So 24 hours, you can take one for 24 hours, then you have to wait, then you take another one
Oh,
after
gotcha.
the 24 hours kind of thing.
Right.
Because I feel like at that point it takes 24 hours for it to get back
Yeah.
to you anyway.
But you have to test negative twice in a row.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But no, I would say as far as that's concerned, I'm stoked. I'm glad that DJ LeMahieu is back and still hitting as usual. And yeah, I would say that would be the Yankees rundown. I suppose.
So you're still hot on the Yankees. You still think you guys are going to be the AL leaders?
I think I would say I think so. I think that the Yankees in general, they actually are. I would say now they have a 5-game series against the Phillies.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. If you guys lose to us, you're really fucked.
I mean, truth be told, aside from you guys' bullpen, I don't know. I think that we'll see how it goes. I think that you guys are. I think the fact that Gleyber Torres has kind of shown up, that's a little scary for people that are going to be playing against him. Aaron Judge has yet, aside from opening day, has yet to get a hit. So I'm fully expecting some sort of pop off soon enough. But I mean, in that exhibition, the Phillies looked good against the Yankees. So I don't know. I would say we'll see how it goes. But I definitely think that like my concern previously when we were talking about it last week, I think that the rotation is probably the main concern. Obviously, Garrett Cole is fine. I think Masahiro Tanaka is fine. But there's a lot of question marks that I have, and I don't expect Johnny Lasagna to be, to be extending past 3 innings at most.
Yeah, well, in that case, I will talk about the Phillies because you sort of gave me a good lead in. So the Phillies, we started off on opening day against the Marlins, a game that everybody expected we would win. And we got trounced. We got fucking destroyed. I said this over text, but I think that I'm going to repeat it. I feel bad that we lost because we should have won. I don't feel bad in that I was exactly right about what the fucking Phillies' problem is, which is our bullpen. Our bullpen... Okay, so opening day we had an offensive problem. I think we were still sort of figuring out our lineup because our lineup has changed a couple times over the past few days. But our bullpen has been consistently fucky. Opening day, Friday, we went through 5 pitchers. Today, we went through 5 pitchers. Sorry, my thumb wasn't on screen. 5 pitchers. And it's like everyone is worse than the last. They'll bring out a new pitcher thinking that, it's going to fix something. But they forget that even when they're on the mound, a pitcher probably needs 2 at-bats to sort of feel out what's going on. And so they just keep rotating these guys, and each one is still trying to feel it out, and then they get 3 outs, and then immediately next inning they're like, all right, next guy.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. We have good pitchers. Aaron Nola is good. He was rough on opening day, but I know he's a good pitcher. Zach Wheeler did great. Zach Wheeler basically assured our victory because he didn't allow shit to happen his entire run on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Today we started off with Velasquez, I believe. I'm gonna double check that. We started off with Velasquez, and then it was Irvin, McClain, Pivetta, and Neris. And I remember just being very frustrated because first of all, I think Pivetta's in our rotation. I don't know why they put him in to the very end of the game, and then only had him up for 3 outs, and then gave it to Neris, who did way better. Hector Neris did phenomenal, and he closed out the game without letting us be embarrassed any fucking more. But yeah, our bullpen is a situation. Our pitchers are unprepared. Apparently, Spencer Howard is supposed to be starting. I think tomorrow or the next day.
It would be tomorrow, I would say. If you're just not sure whether it would be tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
going to be during this series with the Yankees.
Yeah,
is what the news is. But I don't know whether it's going to be tomorrow or the following day.
Gotcha. No, yeah, because real quick, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say what I've noticed, at least with the pitching, I would say there's a lot of like because of the 60-day sprint. I know that they're trying to like feel a lot of stuff out. I would say I didn't catch today's game. Is it possible that he was just trying to have a better matchup, like a lefty versus a righty or something like that?
I will say that if that was the case, it didn't look like it.
Okay.
It looked. Look, the score was 11-6.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Like we were allowing too many runs. So, sorry, I'm looking at the stats and it's really funny because it says it gives you a runs allowed and then it gives you a like season's estimated runs allowed. But we only had 3 games, so it just says Irvin estimated runs allowed 36.
Yep.
I
earned run average. Yep.
Yeah. But so, none of our pitchers got through without allowing a run, even though some of them were up there for the minimum amount of time. So, well, except Neris, he closed out. But Velasquez allowed 4. Irvin allowed 4. McClain allowed 1. Was immediately replaced by Pivetta, who allowed 2. And it was just like, it was, if it was like a lefty versus righty thing, maybe they were thinking that, but to us it looked like, oh fuck, we're floundering.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that's what the Marlins were thinking too, because they were stepping up to the plate very confident and slugging the fucking ball, so they had no problem with us. But outside of opening day, where we had just like offensive fuck ups, our offense has been looking great. We got 6 today. Adam Hazley
7, right?
and Phil Goslin really carried it. Phil Goslin's been doing great, man. What was his? He had some crazy stat that I was looking at. Oh, so he's only played 2 games for us ever, and his on base percentage for yesterday was a perfect 1.
Oh yeah.
He like every single at bat he either got a hit or was walked. And
hey man, that's honestly what you want.
Oh yeah, I have no problem with walks. If I did, I would dislike Rhys Hoskins because that guy doesn't know how to fucking get a hit. He just knows how to walk, which is fine by me. You get on base, You get on base, man. And then today he had an OBP of 750, and I was like, so he's just always getting on base, which is fine. And then Adam Hazley today had an OBP of 667. Sorry. But yeah, so it's and he was taking over for Roman Quinn because Roman Quinn was center fielder last game. And it's like, so these are even guys that like Phil Goslin and Adam Hazley are dudes who are not our like offensive superstars. They aren't our Bryce Harpers. They aren't, our Scott Kingerys. They're not even our Andrew McCutcheons. They're our Larry McCutcheons.
I'm surprised I didn't hear a Didi in there.
I would say Didi is absolutely our
I'm
offensive
just kidding.
superstar. I'll talk about Didi in a second. But that said, he's only been with the Phillies for 2 games. So that's why I'm saying, like, he's not a dude that Phillies fans immediately associate with, like, this is offensive excellence. And yet, even these 2 guys who are sort of swap in, swap out dudes are getting phenomenal play. So I'm like, offensively, I think we maybe have one of the best teams in the National League. I would say we're up there with the Nationals and the Dodgers as far as offensive. Our bullpen sucks, and we are allowing way too many runs.
Yep.
And it's sad. Okay?
Yeah.
It's sad.
I mean, I would say that kind of stuff does happen, and I would say that in this type of environment, like, with the season starting, it's like, oh, okay, no, like that, it'll take time. But with this type of season,
there is no time. Yeah,
it's hard. Exactly. Like it's 60-day sprint, literally no off days. Like just go, go, go. And there isn't any off days, right? Literally 60 days and then playoffs, right?
No, there's got to be some off days because then you guys and the Dodgers would have one more game than everybody else.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
I think I think every team gets some, but it's like a very few amount of off days.
Yeah. I was gonna say because that's. Oh well, yeah. I mean, the Yankees didn't play on Friday. Now that I think about it, so.
Yeah. So.
Maybe yeah. Either way.
But yeah. So there's some uneven records right now, but it's very few. I think maybe it's like an off day or maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
Like throughout the whole season.
Let me see. I'm just gonna pull up the schedule.
But anyway, I don't think we're out yet. I think that the Phillies have if we can just, this is going to sound, this is backseat coaching. If we can
go off, coach.
Go. All right. Let me find the hat. I think that first of all, we need to stop allowing walks. Like, and then secondly, if we're not walking, we're just, this was a big problem today. We're either throwing a ball or we're throwing it right down the barrel. There was no in between. There was no give it to the high left corner or break it south and drop right around the end of the box. There was nothing. It was either. You're
saying it was meatballs right down the middle.
Yes. We were just handing it to them.
Yeah.
Everybody was just it was like playing T-ball for the Marlins. No wonder they got 11 fucking runs.
Oh yeah.
My eyes are watering. Seriously.
I just can't. You don't understand.
I thought Velasquez would get it. I thought it's a major league ball game.
There's no crying in baseball.
I'm gonna get an angry tweet from Vince Velasquez. My 10 followers. He's like, "You dumb motherfucker."
He's going to find you, follow you, and then tweet at you.
Yeah, he's somebody in his posse's gonna link him this podcast, and it's gonna be like that. Did you ever see that Dan Reichert Jose Canseco beef?
Yes, I did. You and I were talking about that. That's right.
It's like it's the double A equivalent of that.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
It's the Phillies starting. No, he's not even our starting. He's like our third in rotation and a podcaster with 20 followers on Twitter. But yeah, I think if we can figure out, I would say what we need tricky pitching. I think our problem is we have pitchers who are good, but I think the pitching, again, backseat coaching, I think the pitching strategy is eluding us. I think we're throwing decent pitches, if you're measuring speed, if you're looking at what sort of pitches we have, but I think that we're just hey, yeah, if we just throw a really fast, high velocity ball down the middle, they won't get it. And it's instead we're just getting fucking clobbered. So yeah, meatball. It was meatball. Fucking sucked.
There's there's a meme that goes around on the subreddit, the baseball subreddit. That's just it's an episode of some fucking 3D Disney cartoon, and it's Goofy walking up, and he's like, "Oh, that's a big meatball." it's always just referring to what a pitch was. Today, there was a meatball that was sent to Luke Voigt just right down the middle, and he just ate that shit. And it was just so funny to me. I just get to see that now. Which also, so stoked that the memes are back. I'm just very happy about that.
Side note, it was Didi's OBP on our opening day was 750. Mm-hmm. And he knocked in...
I think it was his solo shot, right?
No, that would have been the next day.
Because he had
Oh,
two.
no, you're right. He had one opening day, and then he had one on Saturday.
Because somebody was dumb. John Smoltz, during the Yankees-Nationals game, he was like, oh, so is Gregorius set to hit 60 home runs this year? And Joe Buck was like, oh, your math is impeccable. Like, just like pissed. Oh, my God.
Hey, maybe.
It's possible. It's very possible.
But, yeah.
Do I think that somebody can keep up that kind of a streak? No idea.
But if somebody could, it would be Didi.
Would it?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No.
Anyway,
but
so
I appreciate we should.
we should
Speaking of home
Phillies.
runs,
You should. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's transition before I just get mad about the Phillies again. Look, I think we can win the fucking NL East if everybody else can just beat the Nationals more. I'm really betting on that. Okay.
What I would like you to do is just please beat the Nationals.
They expanded the playoffs. We can get in at the bottom, and then we can sweep it. All right, we got it. We're gonna squirm our way up.
I will say I am not a huge fan of the playoff expansion.
I love it.
More than half of the teams are gonna get in.
I know. It's fucking
That's
great.
so ridiculous.
It's a bloodbath. It's fucking awesome.
If there was like the thing is, the reason why 16 teams works in football is because there's 32 teams. So or actually no, it doesn't even. I don't even think I'm right in that. I don't think it's 30. No, it's not 16 teams that make it in football.
No,
right?
I think it's 8.
8 on.
Are you talking about NFL or CFB?
12.
That didn't answer my question.
I'm talking about NFL. 4 divisions and then 2 wild cards, so it'd be 12.
Oh yeah, sorry.
12,
I was thinking 8 because
yeah.
4 divisions on either side. But yes, there's wild cards as well.
So my issue with that, and I would say I'll keep this brief. My issue with that is mainly just that the fact that more than half of the teams are going to make it in is just like, okay, I guess.
Actually,
and
I do want to talk about this because we haven't talked about the new rules yet. We were talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like you got to cut yourself off, even though I just cut you off. But but expound on the playoffs because we haven't explained this yet.
So with the playoffs, they actually announced it Thursday night, if I recall correctly. It was finalized.
It was literally during y'all's game.
Opening game, yeah, opening day. So now they've expanded the playoff roster from 10 teams, or rather the playoffs from 10 teams to 16. From there, it will be 2 teams from each division as well as 1 wild card, if I recall. I would say 1 wild card. So you have the AL East, the AL West, and the AL Central, which is 6 plus a wild card, 7. Oh no, there's 2 wild cards. That'd be the correct math.
Wait, hold on. From
6 divisions, 2 from each division,
plus 2 wild cards for the whole league. Okay, yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. So, in essence, for that's insane to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm here for more baseball. I'm totally here for more baseball. But my issue is that you're going to see teams like the Texas Rangers last year would have made the playoffs had this been implemented. The Red Sox would have made the playoffs last year. And again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that I feel like it's short-sighted. And again, this is all just conjecture at this point because, truth be told, we do not know. We do not necessarily know whether or not we're going to be cutting into, whether or not these are even going to be changed over to the next season. Yeah. But for me, I don't know. I'm not super sold on it, but I'm intrigued and I'm fine with it for this season, but I really hope it doesn't stay. Also, I just looked at OBS. Holy moly.
Yeah. I don't know what you're referencing, but sorry. I was thinking OBPS. I was like, for who?
No, the time. That's all.
Yeah, so I'm actually in favor of this. I've always thought that because first of all, like sports is drama. Like the more this is what makes the 60 game sprint so interesting to me is that it's quick. It's everybody opens and is like going hard. I think baseball honestly could benefit from shorter seasons because it really seems like in baseball there is a tendency, and we do it all the time, which is like, yeah, X team didn't play their hardest today because they just had a hard series and they got another one coming up, so they're just gonna let this one go. And I was like, that to me is the antithesis of what makes this sport interesting. That's why football gets such a bigger like marquee on us, because football, it's like, hey, you better fucking play. There's only 12 weeks of this shit, And I think that's like what's going to make it interesting is everybody's going to play their fucking heart out these 60 games. And then at the end of the 60 games, even if you're the team who's like usually would be knocked out by game 52 or whatever, or you're not going to give up because this year they're expanding it. So you could theoretically still come back and win it, which is, I think the drama aspect of that is so fucking cool as a dramatist.
I think that my issue is the amount, in that you have more people, you have more teams that will be in the playoffs than without. And also, like, football and baseball, like, obviously they are sports, but, like, the comparison for me kind of is completely, like, it's different for myself, just because, like, football is always and has always been a sprint, because it's a 16, 17 game season where I would say you just have to muscle it. And truth be told, the toll that it takes from baseball to football is completely different because it's 162 games. So it's different. Do I think that it could benefit from a shorter season? Yeah, I at the very least, I think that starting in like mid-April would be fine by me, or even May. But like at the same time, I would say I've always watched baseball. I hear that from commentate your comment of just like oh well they've got a tough series coming, so they're just gonna like throw this one away. I've heard that like a handful of times from like announcers, but like I don't think that anybody is going to like I think that you're always going to have somebody who's going to overlook an opponent, and then they're just going to get smacked in the mouth, and then it's just like, okay, that's sports in general to me. But my main concern, at least with that, like I said, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but my main concern is just the amount of teams that are in it. If it was 14 teams, I'd probably be okay with it. But I would say the issue that I have is more so the 10, or excuse me, the going from 10 to 16, and there being only 14 teams that will not make the playoffs. At least for me, that's how I feel about it.
I think we should just let everybody in it and just do 2-game elimination. Just have everybody. Yep. You just play. You just do a fucking bracket, 3-game series all the way up, and then you can knock the whole thing out in like 2 weeks.
Exactly, and then the home run derby actually means something now too.
Yeah.
So you get your biggest. It's a gauntlet.
And well then let's talk about the other big rule that came into play this week, which is starting on second in the extra innings. It only happened in one game, I think, which is the A's versus the Angels. Did it happen?
Mets and Braves yesterday.
Did that happen?
Yeah, it went into 10 inning.
Oh, I didn't even notice, man. I wasn't watching that game.
One of my buddies is a huge Mets fan, and I do enjoy Pete Alonso and Cespi, and obviously Robinson Cano is a former Yankee, so I pay attention from time to time.
Yeah. Well, I thought that. How did you feel about the runner on second? Let me start. Everybody else hates it but me. I love
it. So I know that Mike Clevenger fucking hates it. I know that he tweeted about that.
Well, that's because you lost.
Yeah, well, I think Clevenger is an Indian, so I don't think that they were in. I don't think that they had any extra innings. At least I think. I could be wrong. I think Mike Clevenger is an Indian. I'm pretty sure. But that being said, I like. There's a lot of things this year that are just going to be really, really odd.
No, yeah,
Also,
that's what I was. Yeah, I'm not crazy. Cleveland's Mike Clevenger rips new rules after Royals win in extra innings.
oh, so we've had more than that.
Okay,
then.
so
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
you're right. For some reason, I thought that was this morning. I don't know why I thought it was last night
That's okay.
or whatever.
That's all good.
The reverse.
Also, breaking news. Jason Verlander just tweeted, the report that I'm currently missing the rest of the season is not accurate.
You mean Justin?
So, who did I say?
Jason.
Justin Verlander, excuse me. I would say, yeah, I was looking at, I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell I was looking at. But either way, Jason, for some reason, came to my mind when I said that. Anyway, I go back and forth on it because like I've watched a lot of extra inning games where it's tough as hell for people to even get on base. And plus it's an added pressure for the pitcher to now be like, oh shit, now I have to deal with this guy at my back when I didn't even remotely. So like it's for sure a disadvantage for the pitcher, and that's not necessarily like I don't think I hesitate to use the term fair, but like it's kind of unfair in that like you immediately start the game in extras with a runner on second. Like for either team, it's just that when one is already there, you're already walking off. The rule that like the last person that got out if you go into extras is also the person on base. Kind of weird.
That I think is weird, but
whatever. I don't know. A lot of this, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a baseball should be played like it used to be played kind of person, because like I'm here for change and I'm here for growth as far as the sport is concerned, and there are a lot of things that could be changed. Like I don't dislike the obviously I say this because the Yankees, I don't say this because the Yankees won, but that's what people will think. I am in favor of the like rained out, the game is done. Like it obviously sucks for fans if that is a continued thing, but at the same time, having to do double headers while that is a part of the game was a pain in the ass. Mm-hmm. I'm certain, because you have to prepare for this half of the game that you didn't finish and then another game. I don't have any issue with that. But for this one in particular, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way just because like the rule itself is just, it seems like it's there to make the game faster, which it is. I like baseball. I don't necessarily like pace of play. People complain about.
I kind of hate baseball personally.
Oh, dude,
worst sport.
Get out of here. Get out of this podcast right now.
So the less baseball, the better. Make it 3 innings.
Yeah, 3 innings. If you hit a home run, you automatically win.
I don't remember I made some pitch right at the beginning of the season where I said we should shorten games by making it. I was like 2 strikes and 3 balls. Just shorten the actual counts.
Yeah. It's just everybody when they get up to bat, it's 3. They're already at full count basically, and you're just like, oh shit.
No, I disagree, and here's why. Is it a blatant attempt to make the game shorter? Yes. I'm okay with that. To me, it's a pressure thing. It's because like pitchers being like, oh well, then as soon as we get up, you're already walking off. Well, only if the team that was because it's still an inning with 2 halves.
Yes,
so
of course.
If you're the top of the half or the top half of the inning, you can still make runs, and then the people in the bottom half won't walk off. It's not like it's like, oh yeah, it's first hit, woo, we did it. Like that's not how it works. So everybody's like, well, it's it's really unfair to the pitchers. The first 9 innings of every baseball game are completely in control of the pitcher. I have no sympathy for any pitchers like, well, the control's taken away from me in the 11th inning. It's like, well, you should have fixed that in your first 9 innings and not had a score differential. I don't care. Like, that's on you.
I can understand that, but there's a lot of like, so for instance, like sorry, was I interrupting you? Or?
No, you can go.
Okay. I can understand that, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who like, with the overtime rule in the NFL, they get mad because they're just or rather, I've had discussions with people where they're just like, oh, like, you kidding me? It's like, you shouldn't have gotten yourself to overtime. And it's like because it's a sudden death rule. And it's like, I like, at the same time, like, I genuinely don't think, because like, if you think about it, like, how I think about that is like, if the 2016 World Series had somebody on second in Game 7, I am 110% certain. Actually, they would have. The Indians would have won the World Series. There's just like so many decisive games that I can remember looking back on and then just being like, oh, well, they would have just immediately won at that point. Like, that's just what would have happened, and then there wouldn't have been any more any more drama or anything. And you can't necessarily just go back and be like, oh, we'll insert this here. But I can understand the side where you're just saying, like, they had control of it for 9 innings and now it's like up to this. But I don't know. I think that, like, while we did discuss pitchers are evil.
Yes.
The main thing for me is just that it takes a part of the game away that wouldn't be there otherwise. I've stayed up and I've watched a 21 inning game with the Cubs and the Yankees. Like,
sure.
I don't care as far as how long the game goes, because at that point it's an endurance test as to who can win this game. But
yeah, but I think, well, first of all, for somebody as you've professed to be, who's only in favor of pitchers not getting hurt, like, it's really for their benefit. Like, yeah, pitching a 21 inning game, really cool. Also terrible for pitchers. Like, it's only gonna fucking
terrible for everybody, really.
Well, yeah, but not you. You like free baseball.
That's true.
But it's terrible, yeah, for their stamina, for their bodies. Like, it's not good for them. So it's a way to speed the game along for the pitcher's benefit. I think that if they complain about it, they're silly. But also because it's not even just me saying, like, well, you shouldn't have allowed that many runs. Because, like, I understand, like, you could be a pitcher where your teammates allowed a bunch of errors. That's the problem with team sports, you know?
Yes, of course.
But also, my point is that the first 9 innings, almost all of the power in fielding, almost all of it, is in the hands of the pitcher. And the one time anybody says, well, we're going to do this without consulting the pitchers are going to fucking complain about it? Like,
I mean, that's to be expected at that point.
Like, how many, well, like, okay, then I would like to see every AL pitcher get beamed with a ball once per game. Because if they're not going to pitch, or if they're not going to hit, because the DH rule, if they're not going to hit, then we should take something out of their hands and we should hit them with a ball, just to make sure they know.
I think that in general, just taking it out of anybody's hands is kind of the point here.
But it's not unfair, because it's not like the sudden death rule in the NFL where the first score wins, because it's like we're giving each team the exact same advantage. They're both getting a runner on second at the start of each half of their inning. It's more like when we have extra time in the NBA, it's more like a tip-off. A second tip-off is what we're doing.
I don't know. Even if they had moved it over to first, I might be okay with it. But, like, the fact of the matter is,
they're not worried about whether or not you're okay with it, Bob.
I mean, hey, you were worried about whether or not I'm okay with it, so that's why I'm talking about it. But
Manfred's waiting for your call. He's like, gotta hear.
Yeah, Manfred. Papa Manfred can fuck off. Is
Bobby good with this?
But no, I mean, like, it's something to where it loses a bit of that, like, holy shit, like, somebody just jacked a home run at the end of the game and they won, or
but
something along those lines.
That's what happened with the Athletics. They got a walk-off home run.
What I'm referring to is that, like, first pitch of that, immediately it's done kind of a thing, or more so, like, I don't know. It's just that right there. It's not like building to anything. You know what I mean? Like the inning starts, there's 0 people on base, but like for this one, you hit a single, and instead of building to some sort of dramatic tension, it's like, oh, all right, this guy's already home. This guy's already home, and they won.
But like, it's not if the next people can come on and get a single. If they can get an RBI single, then it's still tied up, and you have 10th inning.
No, I'm referring to the walk-off portion.
Oh, okay.
I understand.
Sorry, you said first pitch. I thought you meant the first half of the inning.
No. Sorry. That's my bad. But I don't know, man. I truth be told, I feel like it's just at odds, and we just won't agree with this.
I just want less baseball. The less baseball I have to watch, the better. Okay.
It's just I don't know. That rule change for me is. It's hard, in my opinion. That's probably the best way that I can put it, is that it's hard because, like, I think that at the end of the day, all it is just to make the game faster. Like, yes, each team will have, like, a runner at second, and yes, each team can capitalize on that, but the only thing that it is doing is just making the game faster. That's all it's doing. It's not making it any more or less dramatic. It's just like, all right, we need to wrap this shit up. And it's like, I don't want to watch baseball that way. Like, that's my main issue, is that, like, I always enjoyed that, like, oh fuck, like, so, like, oh man, we just got a double here. Holy shit. Like, what are we going to do next? And it's like, as soon as somebody gets a single and you get a fast enough runner, because you can have a pinch runner now for the second baseman. So even if the last player was out, at least unless somebody can correct me, I'm fairly certain that you can just have a pinch runner go in at second, have it be your fastest dude, and then if you guys still go into the next inning, just put him wherever you need to. So, like, I don't know. I think that it takes away the drama, and I think it just makes the game, like you had originally said, and we both agreed to. It just makes the game faster, and, like, I get it. I think that if anything, there should just be a pitch clock if they want to make the games faster.
I would like a pitch clock too.
But they already tested it in the minors, and it seemed like it was working fine. But
yeah,
man. I would say, not that I truth be told, the NFL point wasn't necessarily like super concise in that regard, because I agree with you in that, like, one is sudden death, the other is not.
Yeah.
But it's just, it doesn't. Yeah. We'll see how it how I feel about it as the season goes, but that's probably one that in general I would not like to see come back.
Well, we have one more new rule, which is we have had 2 different managers get thrown out for not social distancing when arguing with the ref. So
hey man, I was dying when I saw that video and they masked up. That was the funniest part to me.
And then he brought his mask down halfway through the argument and then realized what he did and put it back up. So you sent me that video and I was like, wow, that's really funny. And I literally turned my head and what's his name? Lavella, I think, is the Diamondbacks manager. He immediately did the same fucking thing. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, shit, man. If I had to deal with half of the umpires in the Major League, I would probably do the same fucking thing. But especially Aaron Hernandez. Fuck Aaron Hernandez.
Well, let's talk about piss missiles, man.
All right, man. Let's do it. Wait. Universal DH.
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
That to me isn't really a rule change because it's not a new rule. It's just something we've adopted.
It's something that was going to be implemented sooner rather than later. It was really funny because my buddy actually said it pretty well. I'm probably gonna butcher how he said it, but it was more or less, it was just like because 2 of my buddies are on opposite sides. One is an NL, he's a Mets fan, so he was just like very much against it because he feels that it removes strategy, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But I think that it gives longevity to players who more or less like Giancarlo Stanton, for instance. He seems to have gotten better and been doing more, but he definitely can be considered injury prone. Mm-hmm. So it's a way to keep a player's career continuing to go. That's why you see a lot. That's why in the American League compared to the National League, you see a lot more. You see a lot more longevity within their catchers, unless your name is Yadier Molina, in which case you're just fucking crazy. But you just don't age. But on the flip side, I understand that like in the National League, it can ruin strategy. I do enjoy that they made the change. The other change that they made is that this is before the COVID changes, but you have to get 3 outs as a pitcher before you're able to change. That. And I like that a lot. And I think that kind of supplements with the DH because like, yes, you could pinch hit a runner or you could pinch hit somebody new with the pitcher. But like half of the time, it's just and this is what my buddy had said. He's like, half of the time, it was just a fucking pitcher just trying to bunt to get the person from first to second. Like, and I didn't really give a shit. There were your instances of like Carlos Zambrano or like Madison Bumgarner or
as I was saying last week, I think it was John Olerud.
Yeah,
who was a pitcher before he came to the majors and then was like a fucking hit leader. Nuts.
Yeah. So like I'm obviously being that I've always had a designated hitter, at least in my lifetime, I'm pretty sure. I haven't had any issue with it, but it was just funny because my buddy responded to that. It was just like, oh yeah, I can't wait to watch this pitcher just fucking bunt to get the player over from first to second. He's like, give me some fucking roided up goon just jacking dingers to the left side.
You know what? Hey, look. Our own jacked up goon, Bryce Harper, loves bunts. There's nothing wrong with a good bunt. Okay?
No, I agree. I honestly wish that, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I honestly wish that they would have, that for the All-Star game, they would adopt I think it was Japanese or Korean All-Star game, where it's bunting exercises, and they have like circles.
No, I haven't seen this.
Oh, I'll send it to you when we're done, dude. It's amazing. But anyway.
Anyway, I think universal DH is fine. I don't prefer DH. I'm not going to make a moral argument for it. I just don't prefer it because I don't think every team needs another dude who just hits dingers.
I get it.
But that said, with the way this season is working out, where it's only 60 games, and frankly, like interleague games and interdivision like games matter way more than they usually do, where whether or not the Yankees beat the Nationals decides whether or not the Phillies are the first place in the NL East. When you have interleague games that matter so much, I understand needing a universal rule set. You only have 2 months to do this shit, so just
everybody just on an even playing field at that point.
And so like I don't know if I want the universal DH to stick around, but I'm not. It's not something where I think it's like making. Because here's the thing. When the National League decided to vote on universal DH, when did you guys adopt it? Like 75 or something like that. But
long time ago, yeah.
But when the National League voted on it last time, it only lost by 1 vote. Like it's not even like everybody in the National League is like fuck DH. It's just like people who usually are part of like super old legacy fans who really hate the DH. And I don't like the DH mostly for the same reason that your friend doesn't like it. I think there's a strategy thing. And also I like to see hitters get hit by pitch just so they know what it feels like. You know? Maybe they'll think twice about hitting somebody with a fucking ball.
Dude, we could have another topic entirely about how I feel about players like dinging people, but either way.
But I think universal DH makes sense. It was of the rule changes, it was the one I was like, yeah, this just has to happen.
It's honestly, it's an inevitability.
Yeah.
It's going to happen regardless. So.
Somebody offered a really stupid replacement idea for that, which was, how about we do universal DH, but you're only allowed to pick your DH from your farm teams. So you're replacing
hilarious.
You're replacing your pitcher with some dude from like fucking like Wichita. And he's like, yeah, I guess I gotta do this now. Some 35-year-old bum. It's just like...
That would be so funny. Oh my god. By the way, very close. 1973.
I knew it was the 70s. I just saw that maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Very close. But yeah.
One more thing before piss missiles. One more thing.
Okay.
New Nationals pitcher. I want to make a plea out for him. Kyle Finnegan. Kyle Finnegan, if you're listening, you're new to the bullpen. You only got on because I think of the 60 man. He's older. I think he's 30, and he's first time pitching in the major leagues. He did it. He got his 3 outs with no runs. So you now have an MLB ERA of 0, buddy. You're a winner. And if you want to come on the podcast, Kyle Finnegan, I'll come tell you how great you are for an hour. You just seem like a really cool dude. So shout out Kyle Finnegan.
Man. I saw that. Like I saw that he was new, and I was just like, oh man, surely we will be able to hit against him.
He was like, he's been in the maybe it was the...
It's like 28.
Athletic. He's 28. I think he was in the athletic system for like 7 years.
Yeah. He was drafted by them in 2013, I believe.
Yeah, damn. That's nuts. Anyway, talk about home runs.
Solid transition, dude. We transitioned like 12 times to
and
this.
I keep stopping it.
Yeah. So anyway, for those that don't know, there's a term in baseball. I mean, it's in most sports, hockey, football as well. But I hear it quite often in baseball. Just piss missiles. You know, it's home runs, more or less. And the main thing that I normally hear with it is one of the things that I like to...
Uh-oh, your voice went away. You okay? Bobby, blink twice if somebody's out to get you. Okay, now I hear you.
It was saying that was being changed for some reason. Hold on, let me fix this.
I think you unplugged it when you pulled it from your desk.
We can edit this out in post.
I'm not editing it out.
So, I would say, yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is, and what I want is to... Can you hear me now, by the way? Is it all good? Okay. Just talk about piss missiles. It's the beginning of the baseball season. Piss missiles are just fucking ridiculous. Like, immediate home runs that you know as soon as they hit the ball, or as soon as the bat hits the ball, they're gone. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to talk about just piss missiles.
Piss missiles? All right.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
I would say no. Yeah. Do you have... So what I was going to do... And this will be like this might be a segment continuing. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of dingers. So, what I would say is that we just pick from the AL and the NL just 2 ridiculous home runs, and then we put it up here, and show everybody what it was. And yeah, that was pretty much what I had for it. Should I go, or do you want it? Did you have yours?
Let's each do our NL first. How about that?
Okay.
And
so yeah,
I'll start. So my National League piss missile. It was close. It was almost the Kike Hernandez 3-run for the Dodgers. My piss missile of the week is Will Myers for the Padres. Last night, the 3-run homer to set the lead against the Diamondbacks. It was 0-1 Diamondbacks. Will Myers slapped one out there. 3 runs, and then immediately afterward, this is why it was so cool to me. Immediately afterward, a dude came up who had never, God, I can't remember his name. He's got a Spanish name. He had never hit in the major leagues before, ever, and then he got a deep back double. So it was back-to-back long ball hits, and Will Myers, his 3-run homer just looked beautiful. And I just mean perfect swing. Phenomenal. It went way out there, and I loved it. And I I've never watched a Padres game in my life. But it was really cool. It was really cool. And just to see the team rocket forward right when it looked like they were going to be down. It's great.
Oh yeah. I would say that was the you said it was the second game or opening day?
Second game.
Okay. I would say, yeah, Eric Hosmer. I remember Eric Hosmer.
Oh, Eric Hosmer had a really good one opening day.
Popping off. He also had 5 RBIs in the opening game. That's why I was trying to remember. I was like, wait, is he okay? But yeah, no. Also, the undefeated San Diego Padres have lost. There are no longer any undefeated teams.
They're not going to go
left.
60-0?
No, man. No, I know.
No!
I'm sorry.
It's cool. They're still first place in the NL East, or in the NL West, I mean.
Hey.
May as well be first place in the
true.
NL East.
Yeah. I mean, everybody is or isn't in first place in the NL East. For me, for National League, I was going back and forth, but my idea of a piss missile is one that as soon as it's hit, it's a no-doubter. And for me, that was probably Bryce Harper's jack that he had today.
He had such a good one today.
As soon as that was his first of the year, but as soon as he hit that, I was just like, yep, that's gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've kind of been waiting to see when he was going to, when he was going to be popping off at that point. Yeah. And hopefully for you guys, that is the case and he will be doing it. But that is my NL piss missile of the week. And I would have you go with your AL.
No, wait, you do your AL first.
All right.
I'm trying to find the correct date for mine. I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday. Okay.
So, one thing that was happening today is we were witnessing a murder. That being the Twins murdering the White Sox. But the piss missile of the week that I have is actually neither of those. Because Joey Gallo from the Rangers just absolutely clobbered one up into the second deck. And, it was nutty. And I believe it is in the Rangers' new stadium, too. But that ball was long gone. Long gone.
Joey Gallo is somebody who he's another guy, kind of like Tommy Pham. I didn't know who that was. Like, I had no basis for him, and then now he's all I'm hearing about.
I believe Joey Gallo was the lone, no pun intended, the lone Ranger that was an all-star last year. I am pretty sure that he was the only Ranger that was an all-star last year.
Side note, when you sent me that clip, I hadn't seen the new Rangers uniforms. I thought you were sending me a Blue Jays clip.
Nope.
Nope. I really like those uniforms. They kind of look like our throwbacks.
As soon as you said that, I was just like, oh, okay. No, yeah. But that is my AL piss missile of the week.
Okay. I have one that, to me, is less about the actual home run. It's more about just how bonkers it is. Let me find somebody else brought it up. There's a guy Mariners versus Astros.
Oh, okay.
Mariners rookie. This guy is not an MLB veteran by any means. His name is Kyle Lewis.
Yep.
He smacked such a good one. Oh man! And his second straight game with an opposite field shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And it gave me momentary hope that the Mariners would win. They did not, but I still believe they can. With a guy like Kyle Lewis behind him, I said the Mariners have got a good shot.
I can give you some hope today.
Okay.
They won 7-6.
Did they?
Yeah, against the Astros. Yep.
What?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well,
And do you know who broke the tie?
Was it Kyle Lewis?
Kyle Lewis.
Hell yeah!
Two run RBI single in the 8th.
My boy, Kyle Lewis.
Rather two RBI. It would be 2 runs batted in if I said that.
Kyle Lewis and Kyle Finnegan, both the Kyles, invited on the podcast. Yeah, dude, that one honestly was just a feel good story. This dude who came up, total rookie, first year in the MLB, and look, love the Astros, hate the Astros. They're a phenomenal pitching team. They have a good bullpen. And he came up and he's like, yeah, I mean, like, wham! Just right across. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was a good fucking home run. So that's my AL pick. Although, I mean,
all right.
I guess that's AL. Because an AL team hit it.
Seattle and the Astros are AL too, bud.
You're right.
Listen, I will give you that because they were an NL team at some point.
They were an NL team when I was younger because I have a bunch of weird. I have a bunch of Astros shit at my house. My dad was an Astros fan for a period of like 2 years.
That happens.
But anyway, yeah. So that was a cool one.
That was Piss Missiles of the Week.
You sound like you are the guy who used to voice the X-Play commercials for G4.
Hello. Welcome to X-Play.
Next, we have X-Play, followed by Attack of the Show. Then, the unbeatable Banzuke.
Then, Cops.
Yeah. Then 4 hours of Cops.
Dude, what are they going to do? They're coming back, but they're just no cops?
You know what's really funny? I think maybe it was Adam Sessler, or maybe it was Kevin Pereira. Mm-hmm. They were talking about like when they used to work at G4, and I think it was Sessler. It was like, people don't understand. They complain about the cops thing. The cops reruns were the only things keeping us on air.
Keeping us alive.
We were bleeding money, and then we got a deal where we got to rerun cops for like $0, and so many advertisers just wanted to advertise on cops because it was huge, and so we were getting commercials out the wazoo whenever cops was on.
Oh yeah,
and I thought that was super funny.
Not to make this like which I mean it isn't a political statement, but I also, one of my highlights was everybody coming together for Black Lives Matter, the entire Major League Baseball. I thought that was awesome. Was
it Dodgers had the Black Lives Matter on the mound?
Nationals did. Everybody might have.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
But right, the Nationals I know did. Everybody and a great like that tweet that you had mentioned to me earlier today. Oh man, I was so happy because Donald Trump tweeted out that he was going to throw out the first pitch in the first Yankees-Red Sox series at home. And then, of course, today he's like, oh, I can't because I have something with the virus to go to. And everybody's just like, yo, pin this and see if he's fucking golfing that day.
Yeah, for
real.
Yeah.
But anyway, not to get too into that. But I just thought that was fucking awesome. What? And I hope that other companies and other teams, other sports in general. I know that NBA obviously will be doing that because I saw it on their court. Mm-hmm. I hope that other sports are doing the same thing, and I hope that the NFL gets their shit together and does the same thing as well.
We have no excuse. BLM is just MLB backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is horrific. I was gonna say, look, even for the most greedy corporate reasons, this is phenomenal branding.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it is, but the message itself is much more important in that regard.
It
and obviously,
It is. I'm just saying, for any fucking
shitty,
any future George Steinbrenner who wants to fucking bitch about this, all right. This is a branding opportunity for us, all right?
Hopefully, the George Steinbrenners of the future are non-existent, and we just have to worry about others.
Wow. I'm done talking about dingers. Unless you had another one you wanted to bring up, because I think I brought up 3. Okay, cool.
I brought up 2.
I know. I said I brought up 3
2 as
because
well.
I also mentioned Kike Hernandez, so I didn't know if you had a runner-up or something.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I mean, I could talk about Giancarlo Stanton's, but I already did. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm done hearing about Giancarlo Stanton, and
you won't be because he's going to be the AL MVP.
You better not mention him a single time this week as we're watching these games.
He's gonna be AL MVP, dude. I'm taking it away from Mike Trout.
I think you're gonna have trouble making that argument, but
Mike Trout just hit his first home run today, so
yeah, well, that doesn't mean anything. It's there's still 57 games left.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Because they're right.
That is what they all say. That is what they all say. You're right. Now, all of them on the calendar.
That's true.
Okay, well, I think we're about to wrap up. We only have one more segment left, which is What Would Junior Do, where I present a scenario in which we are giving something, a scenario that is existing in current baseball, and Bobby has to tell us how the greatest baseball player of all time, Ken Griffey Jr., would react to this situation. So, this week, you look very upset already.
No.
Okay, you're ready. Like,
this is my face.
it was the sudden lean back in the chair. You looked like you looked.
I'm just preparing.
You looked like a mafia member. I was terrified. Still doing it. What the fuck, dude? Give me a smile. Come on. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Just keep your face like that.
No, I will not.
Okay. So, we have... sorry, my mic's fucked up. I keep pausing. I'm sorry. I'm losing my train of thought every time I stop. So we now have a 60-game season, right?
Yep.
And every game matters. Every game counts. The Mariners now have a far higher percentage of getting in the playoffs because, as you said, over half the teams are going to make it to the playoffs.
That's true.
If you're Ken Griffey Jr. playing for the Mariners, how do you strategize to get into the playoffs?
This is the part where you put like Jeopardy music in.
The answer is not, by the way, break your wrist. That is not the answer.
Oh. Well, if it's not break your wrist, sock a few dingers?
Yeah, that is the answer. The answer is that Ken Griffey Jr. would get us into the playoffs by socking a bunch of fucking dingers.
Yes.
So...
oh man, 2 weeks in a row with this guy. I'm doing it.
2 weeks in a row.
Oh.
It's almost like Junior is here. It's almost like he's in the room with us.
I pointed up. He's not dead. He's alive. He's very much alive.
Kyle Lewis, Kyle Finnegan, Ken Griffey Jr. Junior, if you want to come on the podcast, please let us know. Shoot me a tweet at GeekSpaceYT on Twitter.
Two 20-somethings in their apartments are just like, hey, Griff, kid.
Hey, you can't be doing much lately, right? You're not playing, you're stuck inside, you know?
Dude, if Gary Sheffield is socking dingers, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Griffey isn't.
All I'm saying is if Mr. Bench is doing all these fucking MLB commercials where he holds hamburgers, all right? We can get Ken Griffey Jr. on the podcast.
That's fair.
That's fair. If Blue Emu can pull Mr. Hold 7 baseballs, then we can get Ken Griffey Jr. on the podcast. Same thing. Have you seen the commercial?
Yes.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
What does it have to do with Blue Emu? I don't get it. Or the one where they're just like, will you sign my baby? And I'm like, that has nothing to do with your product. What are you doing?
That was... I agree.
I gotta look up what Blue Emu is. It's like a lotion, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's just a fucking lotion. It's a joint cream.
Super strength. Topical pain reliever.
Yeah. Original strength. Stay Legendary is the name of the ad campaign. Stay Legendary, Blue Emu, and Johnny Bench.
At 5, attack of the show.
Speaking of the show, ours is over. So
Yeah.
thank you for watching and listening or whatever you're doing. We're going to make these shows much shorter probably in the future. I feel like we did a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked a lot about baseball, and I'm totally okay with that.
And personally, I would have started the podcast with a runner on second, so we talked less.
Call me Junior. Call me Junior.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day or good night or whatever.
Call me Junior. Call me Junior. Call me. It's showtime.